From the warehouse of burnt werewolves comes the performant art atrocity that would make Andy Warhol squeamish. That's right, we're talking about the low-budget lovely that's 2007's Murder Party. When a lonely man on Halloween finds an invitation to a murder party, little did he know that he would be the dismember of honor to his own death. How many artists does it take to successfully kill a parking attendant? How many vials of truth serum does it take to make everything awkward? How many head wounds do you need to make a modern masterpiece? Make sure you've got your cardboard armor, the cat's fed, and your axe sharpened, because we've all been invited to a murder party.
Not the Chuddle.
Chuddle. Surprise. Whoa. Oh, that's fantastic.
Fuck good. If what the actual fuck was a movie, out of the mist and into the fog, it's Chuddle the Pod.
Hello, and welcome to a brand new episode of Chuddle the Pod, the horror movie club that takes a ridiculous look at the serious and schlocky world of horror movies. My name is Ross, and I'm joined by my co-occupants of the pod, Brian.
Yo.
And Sam.
Sup.
Today, we get our bowls full of candy corn and MacGyver our cardboard costumes as we discuss 2007's head wound hiatus, that is Murder Party. But before we get into our film for today, we have a very special guest. We've got Kate from the Nightlight Horror Movie Club.
Yes!
The Nightlight Horror Movie Club is a weekly podcast about scary movies, true crime, the paranormal, and all things spoopy.
Correct, yes. Oh, it's
Look
an
at
honor to be here, you guys.
I really appreciate the horror movie club parlay that we have this evening.
I know.
So we can have. It's nice when two clubs can get together.
It's really nice. I feel like I've met like I'm a Girl Scout and I've met like another troop or something.
Yes.
I was going to compare us to gangs, but that's nice.
Oh, I
That's
like
nicer.
mine a little. Mine's less violent, more cookies.
Yeah. I was also going to say, have you ever met a Girl Scout troop? They are gangs. Like
They are gangs.
anytime-
No,
are you
yeah.
kidding?
It is.
They
Outside
take
of
my
a
money
Publix?
all the time.
Any single time. I walk out of a Publix, I am
corner me.
$50 short and
Not the
40
Publix.
boxes. Yeah, absolutely.
That's robbery right there.
It's true. Maybe they weren't Girl Scouts. Maybe they were just wearing Girl Scout outfits. So, where can we find you and the podcast?
Oh yeah. So
Tell us all about it.
I'll tell you all about it. So the Nightlight Horror Movie Club, we are two people. It's me and then my co-host Ariana. We are really good friends that met in vet school. And now we met over our love of horror movies. And now we have a whole club that's about horror movies and urban legends and creepypastas and whatever we feel like talking about. And it's like an honest to God community and it's super fun. So
It's all the stuff we used to talk about. So if you missed that, hop on over there. And you'll
you want
get
to
it.
talk about like Merlin? You want to talk about Houdini? You want to talk about some like horror science? We got you. That's us.
Done.
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 Say
And
less.
done.
Say less.
Hell yeah.
But
And
we're
then,
also like a super like feminist, like LGBTQ come at us horror group.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. And where can we find, where most podcasters stream?
Yeah,
or a particular
Spotify, the
hub?
usual places.
Heck yeah.
We're hanging around.
Aces.
We have a little bit more housekeeping before we actually get into this film tonight. Of course, don't forget to jump into our Discord, the best place to continue this conversation with us, as well as other fans and past guests. You can follow Chuddle the Sam on Letterboxd for all of his movie options. Brian, you'll probably just need to meet him in real life, face to face.
I would love to. Brian is wearing a ghost face t-shirt and I'm obsessed.
His drip lately has been off the charts.
It's called a
People,
midlife crisis.
I understand this is a podcast.
I'm into it, Brian.
But like this
Looks
is
good
like
on
nonstop.
you.
Thank
If you want to keep up on all Brian's drip, make sure to get in that Discord.
The
That's
Discord.
true. We posted in there.
Right.
We have a whole channel for it, for showing off what you're wearing.
Yeah,
I
Brian's
would
the
say
eye
just hop in that
candy, is that
Discord.
right?
For now.
Well,
Yeah.
Sam
100%.
is, once he cuts his hair off, though, we'll see, and gets the new
I'm
jawline.
excited about the haircut. We're hype about
I'm
the
excited
haircut.
about the jawline. That's going to be sick.
That's gonna be sick. And Ross, I had no idea that you had this like whole sexy beard look going for you.
It was, honestly, it's more negligence than anything else. It's just
You should see what's in there.
Yes, it's like I think there's probably a species of bird roosting in here as well.
Delicious.
Yes.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah. It's terrible.
Homeless
It's
chic.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Into
Castle
3
that.
hair
chic.
ties before anything remotely close to soup comes to my face.
I was wondering actually when you were, because I don't know, do your listeners know about like the gorgeousness of your beard?
No.
I don't know if they do.
I don't know if they know.
We've kind
I
of.
don't know. Just like as someone who has listened to your podcast, to suddenly find out that one of you has like a full on like Gandalf beard. It's just
Yeah.
like a lot to take in. And I just
Mhm.
want to make sure that your people know about it.
It's
true.
You know,
We probably
honestly, I
should.
grew it just because that's what's actually manhandling the typing and the mic and stuff while I'm working.
Oh, it's
is
just
actually
it's just the tendrils of your beard.
Yes, yeah.
I
it's
can't
more
see
of
the
a-
bottom, so like I get it.
It's a symbiotic relationship.
Oh, good for you, man.
I didn't know we could
And
do
you
that.
can also follow me on Instagram at Ross Purvis if you want to take a sneak peek at some art and tattoos and all that fun stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But lastly, but not certainly, not
yes.
leastly. Leastly?
Leastly.
I'm just going to go with it. Leastly. We have
Firstly.
a Patreon, and we got to give a
Mhm.
shout out to our Coven of Witches. We have Travis Maxwell Boone, the Witch Doctor of Doom.
Nice.
Ooh.
Thank you. Paul Litch, the Ditch Witch.
Which
Sure.
The Horror Bandwagon, the Witchy Wish Dragon.
dragon
Trevor, the Witch Master of Pleasure.
pleasure?
And Ricky Perejon, the Witchy Cajun.
Cajun.
Oh, yay! We love a Cajun.
And we also have, we're workshopping this, by the way. I think I'm just going to go with the last choice we had. And
Do
then we
it.
also have Alex, the Mystery Morale Witch.
Yes. Which.
Work in progress. I think that's, we got to flush it out a little bit. That's really
Ow.
good.
I'm in anything
Mystery
involving
morale
witches. I am
Yes,
in.
our coven. We love our coven, and
Yes,
our
we
coven
do.
is just. Thank you so much for the sacrifices that you give us. It gives us life, and we thank you for your beautiful, beautiful souls.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
That's nice.
Probably got a bonus episode coming
Yes, it is.
Which-
It's coming.
because Brian and I are obsessed with RRR. So
It's going to be a saga. All right, Murder Party. Who made it?
Oh, boy.
This movie.
Yeah,
was
who
written-
did make this?
Who
I
did
started
this?
looking into it. So
Who's
guys,
responsible?
yeah, who is responsible? Because for me, it's Ross. So I thought it was Sam, but someone
who
I
picked it?
I thought it was
That's who picked
Sam
it.
reached out to me on our club Insta and was like, "This is the movie," and so all I had to go off of was that. So like, that's a lot to associate with one person, and that's
Yeah.
yeah.
A list
So
of I gave you a list of movies to choose from. You didn't know whose choice, who picked what.
oh, is
Who
that
picked
how that
what?
happened?
Yes.
Oh, and Ross, you lucky bitch. Well,
I-
well, it still says a lot about you.
It
It says
does.
a ton about you. So, like,
It is-
honestly,
It
like
sure does.
knowing that was your pick before even meeting you, it's just overwhelming.
That is the weird thing when you're hosting, when you're doing like guests and stuff
I
like
like
that.
that.
Because I have such a weird taste of movies, anyways. Where like I was like, let's do Murder Party, and then you pick Murder Party. I was like, oh man, this is either going to go really well or really bad. I don't know.
Oh, I know.
I watched it. I was like, oh man, this is what our guest is watching.
Oh man, this is a choice. But honestly, and this is not saying how I feel about the movie because I'm going to keep that just like a little bit closer to my chest. But
Mhm.
I will say I've never seen a movie like Murder Party. And I don't think I ever would have watched this if you guys hadn't made me. So
100%.
that's
I gave you a list.
that's something right there.
That is
Alright,
something. I never would have watched it either. But that's what I like about what I'm
Mm-hmm.
glad we all get to choose our own now and then have the patron pick because it helps. Like, I feel like it does reveal
Stuff about
Something.
us.
Yeah,
for sure.
I feel like I've learned a lot about Ross. Ross, I have some movie suggestions for you, by the way.
Oh.
At the end of the episode, I have at least one that I'm like, whoever loves this movie is going to love this movie. So
1000%. So this movie was written and directed by Jeremy Saulnier. This is I'm just going
Saulnier.
to keep the trek of me fucking up last names.
It's
Just
all
Don't worry,
names.
we all do
you
that.
just
fine.
got to go with it, honestly.
Just-
I
yeah.
get everybody's name wrong. No one cares.
And then just kind of quick rundown for some of our key actors and stuff like that. So we have Chris Sharp, who is our main protagonist, the cardboarded Knight of Justice, Christopher S. Hawkley himself. We also have Stacey Rock as Lexi. We've got Macon Blair as Macon. Sky Chandelier? As Sky, we got Paul Goldblatt as Paul, William Lacey as Bill. We got Bill Trengardi as Zyko. I like the fact that his name is Zyko in this movie.
Because
Not
it
the
sounds
character.
like Psycho, and you think that's
Yes.
funny.
I definitely thought it was Psycho until right this minute.
I thought it was Psycho the entire time, and I realized, oh no, it's just Zyko.
I will say, just like you, you know something. It's telling about a movie whenever the characters and the actors have the same name, and that's all I'm going to say. It says something about what kind of movie you're going to watch.
Kind of movie. And usually it's a lower budget film. Where it's just
for
like,
sure.
we're just going to double up on our real names and our character names because that makes it a lot easier to get the script done.
Yeah, and like this is it. Like, might as well.
This is the accumulation of that.
Yeah.
All right, so we are about to venture into our Goro-meter.
It's time for the Goro-meter. Fatality.
Thank you.
Hot.
Basically, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being psycho, 10 being the sadness, how gory is this film? Now, we've kind of been fooling around with the breaking into halves, as in consistency of gore, and then the kind and amount of gore, or the kind of gore throughout the film. So, where do you guys think this movie lays in the Goro-meter?
So,
I'd say like Go ahead.
Oh wow! I was gonna
This
say
is so precious.
I was gonna say around well, my score gave it a 6.5, a 4 for
wow.
intensity because of at the end it was intense with what we were getting.
Yeah.
But the consistency I gave a 2.5, which I should feel like could actually be a little bit lower now.
Yeah.
But that's what I gave it. What were you gonna say, Sam?
5, because I think the intensity was. We only had it at the end.
Well, yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
And it's a lot of sprayed blood where you don't see shit, and then there's one thing you see.
Sure.
So it's
The
hard.
amount of
That
head
makes it
wounds
more difficult to judge.
in this movie is insane.
I may have said 4 to 5, but after you, I'm going solid
No, you
5.
very emphatically said 5.
Well, that was after Brian. Had he let me go, I would have said 4 to 5, and then
That
he
was
would have talked,
great.
and I
That
would have
was
been like,
great.
you know what, 5.
Brian with his like little scores and his rubric. And Sam's like, fucking 5, right down
Sam's
the middle.
the one that came up with most of these rubrics we follow. And then-
Yeah, that's my thing.
No, listen, I am not one to like pick on a rubric. In my club we do a ranking of every movie we watch, and I am.
I
It's
know.
very
I gotta
obvious.
talk
My
to you about
bias
that.
is very. I have a bias, and it's. But what are you gonna do? Like, I'm the one that types it in, so that's.
There's some stuff at the bottom that I
So
don't
science
quite
isn't
get.
going anywhere. Stop emailing me about it.
Yeah, I think I might agree with you guys. I think this is probably, for me, it's like it's a 5. It's a solid 5. Just because it is a slow burn when it comes to the gore, shy of multiple weird head wounds that happen just kind of throughout it. But then the end of the movie is where you get all of your gore. It's like a big old, it's a gore balloon that gets kept pumped up throughout the entire movie, and then at the end of it, it just pops.
I don't know. 5 seems
Ew.
very low. 5 seems low for the things I witnessed today.
that is also very
Like
true.
someone gets like a fatal head wound in like the first like 15 minutes. So
That is true.
So I don't know what kind of. It was higher than 5 for me.
That's cool. That's why it's
No,
a
it's
scale. Everybody
We
has
could
their
just
own
be-
scale.
They're
We
like,
just
yeah,
really-
yeah. Sure, some people are murdered and their heads are pulverized, but like not that often.
Again, it can just prove that we're just very jaded.
Yeah. No, I get it. I don't know. Like, I don't get it. Is the thing? Is the beautiful thing? Is men
Yeah.
are different than women? And so that's what I'm learning so far, and it's great. It's lovely. 5, y'all.
So okay, so you're above, what are you at?
This is like an 8. Like for real. This is
8?
yeah.
Wow.
It is like gore for the sake of gore. It's not just like, oh yeah, like that's a good kill. It's like, what would be a gory thing to do in this scene?
Yeah.
It's
Well, yeah, I mean,
intentional.
that's what all gore is, right?
Well, and this
No.
one, I think this one in particular, there's parts of
You don't
this
think
that I
it's
feel
for
like there's
the
like a
sake of it?
gore dartboard, and at the end of it, they're like, all right, what would be really cool? And they just flung it. They're like, all right, we're going to do that.
Yeah. Have y'all
I
seen
think the gore is-
Terrifier 2 yet?
We've seen both Terrifiers.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
Terrifier 2 is very much like they're aiming for gore.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I would call Terrifier 2 like an 11 out of 10 on the gore meter.
Sure,
This
that's
is like
probably
a
a 10.
this is
Like
like a
zero.
solid 7.
You think it's
Okay.
that
Yeah.
close
I'm
to
not saying it's
Terrifier?
like great gore or like super fun gore, but like
What would you say Scream is, just while we're at it?
low.
Scream score is high.
Which
The
one?
first one has a
The
gut
first
flop.
one.
I mean,
first
like,
one's-
Oh, that is. It's got
Like
the yeah.
a steaming
person
pile
pop
of guts on in like
Yeah,
the
I
first
guess.
15 minutes of the
Yeah,
movie.
I would.
That's pretty.
Scream is different. Scream is sacred in art, and
Well, yeah.
you don't have enough time for me to start talking about Scream.
So
I don't
not
think we
bad.
have enough time
so
to talk
we've
about
got
the
between
gore
like
in
a
Scream.
5 and a 7 for our
Love it.
gorometer, less like right
Yeah.
between like
Yeah.
a 5 to a 7. That's not
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
That's,
So
I mean,
we
it's
need-
gory. If you don't like gore, don't watch this. Like,
We need someone with unjaded eyes.
Well, that actually is a great
Yeah.
great segue into what horror is this for?
Oh,
yeah.
who's the horror for?
Who's the
This
horror
is kind of
for?
like you guys making up fun horror subgenres.
I'm gonna say this is for like loner weirdos
Oh.
Mhm. That
Who
reads.
really-
that
who
reads.
like-
that reads.
who like elevated artsy horror. And like,
Interesting.
if there's like an indie movie, like they're a fan of it, even if it's not necessarily the best. Like they just like appreciate it for what it is.
Totally.
Mhm.
This is. I would say this is definitely like. For
That all
me, I was
tracks.
Like,
Yeah.
horror. All of that tracks.
Am I right? Did I win?
If you're like a fan of like horror, I don't know. For me, there was a lot of funny scenes in this for me.
yeah, for
So-
sure.
So it's like if you're into horror comedies, this is definitely it. If you are into,
If you're into
Um,
like
I love horror comedies.
want
I have
something,
I do
wanting
have
to
I
be-
have a list. Ross will be happy to see. So I take handwritten notes, and so I have my LOL moments, and
Dark
there are
comedy.
there are quite a few LOL moments, and like that means that I made an audible noise. So and there's quite a few of them. So
there was
Impressive.
one. We'll get into it, but there's
this
one
movie's
scene
not
that,
without merit. Let me just be
no,
clear.
there are some. There are some scenes
there's
that
one
I
particular scene I
definitely
have to pause the
lulled.
movie every time because I laugh for a solid 10 minutes.
It took me longer to watch the movie than
Impressive.
the movie is because I rewound it.
That's true. That's true.
I watched
Some of it
twice.
was for the audacity. Some of it was
Yeah.
I gave
I was
it
like,
a 2
no,
The
for-
audacity.
No,
If you
you
thought this
didn't.
movie was audacious, I got a movie for
it's an
you.
audacious. Is it RRR? Because I swear to
It's
God.
RRR.
You don't shut up about RRR.
All right. What about you guys? What do you guys think the horror is for?
Someone who thinks like I don't know, making fun of the art scene.
Someone who likes indie dark comedies.
Yes.
Yeah, someone who
This is definitely
wants
like
to
if you
make
have
fun
Someone
of
who
the art
hates
scene.
artists.
Yeah.
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 but it's definitely
Totally.
in the scene.
In the art scene,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Which only makes it more,
More
like they're only being that person they hate that much
pretentious.
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is it
exactly.
set in
totally.
Brooklyn?
Oh yes,
Is it something? Yeah. Okay.
Yes, it is.
I have notes on. Yeah,
That's
Um,
fantastic.
There is
All right,
there is a scene that is very because I know that am I allowed to say this that Brian is from New York? Is that
Yeah,
common
that's
knowledge?
kosher.
Okay,
yes.
I don't want to like send like serial killers. to your
States
door.
are known.
Brian's like, I live in New York. You don't need to worry about that. They're already here. I was just gonna say, you know what? I'm gonna hold that till the end. I'm not gonna tell you. I'm not gonna tell you. I'm not gonna tell you,
secret
Brian.
secrets.
Gotta love it.
Stop asking, Brian.
Right, I'll
Asking
back
Brian.
off.
No, I know I'm gonna tell
I'm
you. I'm gonna
out.
tell you. There's this.
I quit.
There's one scene that is the most realistic depiction. Like it made me LOL about like
It's
New
on the
York
subway.
City. You bet your ass it's on the
has to be.
subway.
That is the
But
most
that's happened to
real
all of
thing
us.
ever.
Absolutely.
I
Every
watched
single
that
time.
twice and I was
It is
dying.
I
all-
was-
definitely the best moment of the movie. I was like, oh, this is going to be fun.
Yeah.
I was dying at that scene. So that's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. Because we're not there yet. We're not there yet.
Yeah.
Who is this? Who is this not for?
Uh,
Is there any like maybe people that don't like raisins?
If you don't like head wounds,
If you are I don't know if I should say this.
what?
No, I don't know. If you are a person of color,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Oh yes,
Yeah.
some
there is.
things in this movie that
Yes.
that are very.
might not
There's
sit
definitely
well with
there's
you.
one scene of dialogue that like the characters
use of
in
the
the movie
N-word.
had
Out
to
of
stop the
nowhere.
dialogue
out of nowhere, and then
Out of
repeated.
nowhere.
I gasped because it wasn't in the same like tone of the rest of the movie. But
Yeah.
I mean, I guess
Oh.
we'll get there. But like, trigger warning. Like,
Truth Serum's a fucking bitch.
I don't
Like
even
this is
Well.
insane.
Yeah.
Well, it's also the dialogue, obviously, but like it's a no, I agree with you. Yeah, there are some very blatant hard. There's a hard R that is
There's
dropped.
a hard R, and it's
That is
just
dropped in this movie. Out
And
of
this is from
nowhere.
2007.
I was like, when did this come out? Were we still
Right?
doing
Yeah, I
it?
looked it up because I was like,
Is that
where were
totally-
we out in 2007?
Yeah.
It was
the
worse
edgy-
than now, but it was
Oh, yeah.
edgy.
Yes.
The
shock
type of
humor
edgy
was
comedy
big.
that would
Yes.
that this movie has, it doesn't shock me that it would have been in a movie in 2007. We do not have to go back that far to
get
edgy
that.
comedies
Yeah.
to get
No.
so much like
No.
cringy
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
shit.
We don't have to go back at all.
Well,
All right.
but
So
I mean, some of the stuff I liked when I was younger. Now I'm like, oh
Yeah.
fuck.
Oh wow.
Whereas I don't like it now.
Yeah, look at you, Aristocats.
Oh yeah.
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 Yeah. Oh yeah.
So we got into who picked it, why, and the history of it.
All right, Ross, explain yourself.
I picked this.
Yes. Ross picked this.
Do you want to explain yourself now or later?
Oh, my entire life.
Oh, he's been waiting for this moment.
All right. So I picked this because I actually I
Like
randomly
this movie.
bought this on DVD. Like the cover art is just
Totally.
the main
Right up
protagonist
here, yeah.
in the thing. I was like, oh, this
Oh.
could be fucking.
This could be
This
me.
could be interesting.
Was this like a
Cover art
used
is
Blockbuster
enticing.
movie?
Yes.
This looks like a 5 for $20 at Blockbuster. Like, oh sure, I'll grab this.
Yeah. One.
I would have grabbed this. To be
Yeah.
fair, it's
Yeah.
a good VHS cover.
The
DVD's
cover- I was
This was like okay.
Thought
this
I was
may
going to
be
be a lot
really
more
really
fun
well.
based on the cover.
This honestly, when I first watched this movie, this read so well to me because at this point in my life, I was apprenticing to tattoo, but I had also just gotten out of college where I was in an art major. So like I was
Oh.
around a lot of people like this. Now I'm not
Sure.
saying my core friend group was like this, but the people that I was also sharing a studio with, very similar. Like you could have, this was a cookie cutter. Any of those people could have easily acted and been in this movie. So
I was
like,
thinking
That makes sense.
that exact thing because I was like, this might have been right around the time when you were in school or out in and out in school.
I was like,
For art
Right, you
stuff.
would have known. You
For
been able to
art.
pin that down.
And this
yeah.
would also
And
have
I
been the
was just-
time close to when my brother, I think, was living in Brooklyn. And he was probably involved in some sort of art scene up there. He
Shit like
definitely
this,
go to
yeah.
school for. I was like, shit, is he going to be like
Yes.
fucking popping in at the end? Thank God.
I was
he's not in it.
So not only did I watch this movie and be like, because obviously out of the gate, like you have these group of antagonists that you're like, man, I'm so glad when I get to see all these people die. But then I also have this added bonus where I'm like, God, all of these character tropes that you think are so over the top. I was like, I knew these people. Like I knew people that acted like almost exactly like this, minus them getting someone to murder in a warehouse. But besides
Not quite to the,
Not
but,
quite.
But the satire
So
resonates
close.
with you.
So close. So
Yeah.
most of this I just thought was fucking hilarious out the gate. So like this is something like I kept on watching and I showed it to as many people as possible just because of how ridiculous I think this movie is.
I'm surprised you didn't show it to us then, because
I think
if you
you
saw it, like
did.
maybe you saw it after we lived together, but it would have been out when we lived together.
Oh,
He's not
100%.
upset. He's just disappointed.
It's just
I'm surprised.
Honestly, this probably
You showed
would
me
have
Jericho.
been in the. Yeah, we could have paused Jericho for at least a season to watch this.
People like
Shout out Skeet
Jericho, though.
Jericho's great.
Did really well.
That's
I
very
remember my
true.
dad talking to me about Jericho. It lasted like one season, right? Is that the one where they threw like
And then it
peanuts at
got
the
brought
studio?
back. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I
It's
know.
got
I don't
Skeet
know
in it.
why I know about this, but I do.
It's got
I
Skeet.
do.
Mr. Ulrich.
And that was a show that you two started watching together, and I was living in there at the time, and
Somehow
I never got
without
involved with it somehow.
You miss Jericho. Oh, Brian.
They were just having their
You and me
Jericho
both,
party in the
buddy.
living room. I, was
I
sitting
feel
in
like
my bedroom.
that's the divide, with humanity. It's like who's
Yeah.
seen Jericho?
And who hasn't?
Yeah, who hasn't?
Honestly,
So
it's-
I'm with
are
you,
you
Brian.
prepared?
That is how
or
the
are you
tribes
not
are going to be
prepared?
formed. In,
Well,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
other great
And the
divide
breakdown
of
of-
what you've
yeah.
seen and what you haven't seen.
All right,
Okay.
so we
Alright.
are getting into. All right, from this point on, we are getting into spoilers.
Spoiler zone.
Very good.
I love this. All right, we're going to get a brief synopsis of this film. Okay, so I'm just taking this directly for IMDb because this sets this entire scenario up perfectly. A random invitation to a Halloween party leads a man into the hands of a rogue collective intent on murdering him for the sake of their art, sparking a bloodbath of mishap, mayhem, and hilarity.
I'm on board with that synopsis.
I went in absolutely blind. That's how I go into all horror movies.
So did I.
But like, this is a tough one to go into blind.
Do you watch trailers or not watch trailers?
So like, I'll watch a trailer to like the point of interest, and then I turn it off.
Sure. If you already know you're interested, like say Scream 6, did you see the trailer for that or not see the trailer for that? Me neither. Have you seen it?
Yeah, of course I have. We don't have
Ross
time.
hasn't seen it.
We don't have time.
Sorry.
We don't have time. We cannot talk about Ghostface with a gun. There's too much to unpack. But yeah, I went into this one completely blind, not quite understanding that it was like a satire. So it was just like, oh my God, what the fuck is going on? But I was so into it. Like, honestly, in like, this might be a very telling, but I would say like the first like 16 minutes of the movie, that was like my favorite part of the movie.
I can see,
What's that?
The setup to everything, it seems like it can go in a fun direction.
Yeah.
Just a dude in the cat and some cardboard.
I like the main character. I like the opening shot. So if you guys haven't seen this movie, and if you like Halloween anything, you're going to enjoy the first 16 minutes of this movie because it's all like very nostalgic Halloween. I'm talking like the pumpkin buckets, trick-or-treaters, like the eyeball cupcakes, all of it. Like renting a VHS. Like, oh my God.
All of that is just amazing. And what's funny about it that you bring that up is that the opening credit sequence was actually shot in October of 2005, a year before the movie was made, even before the script was written. So that entire Halloween setup was just them just shooting Halloween stuff. And they're
like, we'll use it, right?
We'll use this at a later point, maybe.
So wasn't like the crew that made this, like all the people that are in the movie? Like they were like an art collective.
Yeah, this was filmed in February of 2006. Zero money, literally zero money. I think its budget says it was $150,000 to $200,000 or something like that.
Yeah, it was under $250,000.
No way.
Yeah,
that's so much money.
But again, like I think that's like
I cannot believe that.
I think that
someone
number
stole
is
a lot of money.
Insanely fictitious because they literally said that the makers of the film, it's an amateur filmmaker collective known as the Lab of Madness, could not find a single investor to invest in this movie, so they did it and paid for it themselves. By acting and also performing and doing so. Like, you've got like Boom My Guy jumping down and then getting tied into a chair, and then like everybody was doing like active cogs behind the scenes, including
I can appreciate that.
Yeah,
I can really appreciate. I love a labor of love, so that does make me like the movie a little bit more.
Oh yeah, no, this movie screams
labor of love.
This was made by a bunch of friends or a bunch of people that knew each other. As in, like, this is so not necessarily gonzo filmmaking, but like this is so indie that like that it makes sense that everybody's first name is also their characters' names. Like 100%.
It's that type
someone
of full budget
has an editing software and they're ready to go.
100%. Like all of the special effects completely practical in this movie. So practical to the fact that the truth serum scene actually used real hypodermic needles filled with sterile saline solution. So they're shooting up for real.
You don't have to do that, you guys.
At all.
Right.
Like
what the fuck?
They're artists.
Listen,
so
nobody would pay for fake needles, so they could do it themselves with real ones.
I don't pull this card much, but I did go to medical school. I am a veterinarian. I have a degree. There is no fucking reason you need to be on a film set putting an actual needle between your joints.
Anybody.
That's terrible. And a very easy thing to fake.
Very
easy. It's a labor of love.
If they're just like, we could make a collapsible needle, or we could just stab you. Are you in or are you in?
Are you really acting in this? Are you really acting in this?
All right.
It's art.
You're going to have track marks and you're going to like it.
Exactly. It's not art without it.
Like, can you imagine? Like, Jesus Christ. That's not a good look to have track marks between your fingers.
Well, then there's the one guy does it on his on his arm, and it looked like when you
Macon.
look at
It
the
looked
shot,
like
it's a
there
little bit
was a
red
couple
there. And there's a
others.
couple
Yes,
couple others.
absolutely.
Yes.
But they didn't get the first shot, I don't
No,
think.
this is
No.
not done in one
He
take.
did it
Like,
at
you can
least
clearly
3
tell they
times, I
did
think.
like
Look it up, do it
multiple
again.
takes.
Like, what the fuck?
Oh my God.
I'm committed.
don't
That's
do
the only
that.
guy I
Let me just-
recognized. He's
Yeah.
in a few other things.
Don't do that.
Werewolf
This is a
dude?
perfect leeway too. All right, so
Yeah.
we're gonna get into our first 6 questions. The first 6, the invitation.
Oh.
See, I'm doing the thing with the Brian, doing the thing with the titles of the other
Sam
stuff.
does it
All right, so we're gonna.
No, just Brian. It's cool. Fuck me.
Uh-oh.
Well, he started it. All right.
Boys, behave yourselves.
All right, so these first 6 questions are basically just kind of getting us into the movie and pretty much what we talked about, like what we liked, didn't like. So, any particular scenes that kind of just made it for you or didn't make it for
We
you?
talked about the subway scene already.
The subway
That
scene.
definitely.
Yeah, it's so
Subway
short.
Yeah, but we didn't
Go
explain
ahead and
what
say
it
what
is.
it is. Yeah,
I want
exactly.
Brian to explain what it is.
It's so incredibly real in so many different ways. I've had this sort of interaction or things very similar where you're just sitting on the subway and there's someone right next to you, maybe a seat over, just aggressively rapping at you.
At you.
At you.
At you. Yeah.
Yeah, I
The
mean,
look
Anyone
on his
who's lived
face
in a
is
city has met this person.
and you just kind of do this like, I'm very aware of what's happening thing, but I'm trying
I
not to
don't
pay
know how to
attention to
react.
anything, and I'm
Yeah.
just gonna
Just
get off at the next
dissociate.
stop.
It'll be
Trying
fine.
to
don't
look
know.
off into space.
I didn't have anything that crazy. Well, I've definitely had stuff like that happen, but I have been on the subway platform where someone has come up to me, and his first line to me was, "Do I know what the definition of a gangster is?" And
Uh-oh.
that
You don't
I-
want to talk to those people, Brian. You don't-
I did the wrong thing.
Did
I had
you-
the headphones in and I pull it out and he asked me something I think like innocent enough first. I don't know if it was the time or something stupid, and I answered. So I engaged, and then that's when it was the
Yeah.
follow-up. Do you know what a gangster is? I believe I responded with
Oh.
someone who's been through some shit. And he said, that's a good enough answer. And not a good enough. He said, that's a good answer. You know, that's better than a lot of people. And then he started screaming about something on the platform. And then he offered me cookies at one point. It was a really
take
weird
them.
conversation. I did not.
Did you take the
Yeah.
cookies?
I took another train, not going where I was
I would've
going.
taken the cookies. You
No,
answered
Brian is
the question.
correct.
Dude, you answered the
Yes.
question right. Like, if you answered it wrong and then he gave you cookies, I would have been way more sketched out than, like, you got the question right, here's some cookies.
This is another thing I've noticed. So one thing I was excited about coming onto y'all's show is just like the absolute testosterone and the audacity of all of it. Because like, let's explain. Like in this movie, this guy, our main character, our protagonist, gets an invitation to a murder party, and it's just an address. And he goes.
And he goes.
And he goes.
Yeah.
But
And no woman ever
Would ever.
ever.
No.
not in a million years. Also, the
It says
fact
come alone
is that-
on it.
It says come alone.
Come
And
alone.
I get that it's a satire, but like they were trying to get someone there,
Yeah.
and it worked for this idiot person. But
Well,
like, no, it wouldn't
Lonely.
have gone.
There's so many red flags before this. Like, okay, first off, like it's blowing in the wind. Like it wasn't even mailed to him. He literally found it on the ground. Come alone, and then like the trek that he makes with that weird pumpkin banana bread. What is?
No,
this?
I love the pumpkin bread. So we have
The
to
pumpkin
explain. We have to explain because I have a pro con list. And the pumpkin bread
Yeah.
is on the pro list.
Yes,
There's
of
not a
course,
lot
yeah.
of things on the pro list, Rob. I'm just
No,
gonna
but
be very
that'd be one
honest.
of them.
Sure.
But pumpkin bread is on there, so I'm gonna let it have its say. The protagonist, he's adorable. He's just this dorky dude. He just like talks
Mm-hmm.
just very casually with his cat, whose name is Sir Lancelot.
Mhm.
Very
My
cute.
favorite character.
Absolutely love his interaction with Sir Lancelot. I feel like they did a good job of making me care about this protagonist. And like the fact that he like puts on this card, he like gets this invitation that like, you know, floats to him. And he's like, cool, I'm game, because he just loves Halloween so much. But he's a loser. And so he goes. But before he goes, he just kind of casually turns over his shoulder and is like, oh, and happy Halloween, Sir Lancelot, to his cat. And then someone smashed his jack-o'-lantern and he made pumpkin bread to bring to the party. And I'm sorry, that's very cute.
That's
When life smashes your jack-o'-lantern, make pumpkin.
You make pumpkin
pie.
bread.
It's
Pumpkin
so
bread.
naive
Pumpkin
and
bread
sweet, and
with
like
raisins.
don't make not out of That's gross, but like,
That was weird, right?
Yeah,
was
I'm
weird.
not
Very
gonna like,
rotting.
eat it, but
No
like,
not
wonder he went to a
anti-racist,
murder party.
Yeah.
I'm not
It's
gonna
a
eat it,
weird
but like,
move.
that's very sweet of him to
Oh,
do
totally.
that.
It was a very odd choice. I think I also like I love him making his costume, which is like it's
Mhm.
supposed to be like
He makes
it's
it quick.
basically supposed to be a knight, like like Lancelot, but it's kind of, if you look at it hard enough, it's basically the Black Knight from Monty Python. And the Holy
It is,
Grail,
yeah, it's very
which
Monty
is
Python.
so fucking funny to me.
Yeah,
I
great.
honestly-
Like, I'm on board. Love it. Let's do this. Let's go on this journey. Let's get into
Yeah.
the subway. The
And
bowl
then-
of candy
Let's
corn
go.
that he fucking leaves out.
The
Gross.
loose candy corn.
Please
I'm
That
not
help
one in
opposed
the
to candy
pros
corn.
column, Brian. I was like, loose corn.
It's
I'm
so
here
ridiculous.
for it. A glass
I couldn't get
bowl.
over the fact there was any left when he came back. I was like,
It was
No,
just
it's
kind of
candy
like
corn.
because this is very clearly pre-COVID. Like, it's very
Doesn't matter.
like,
Oh yes,
whenever
Yeah.
he just leaves an open bowl of loose candy
nothing
corn.
wrapped. Just
That's
get your sweaty mitts in
disgusting.
there, children, and just like
Get
walk
in there,
around
just
it.
like grab yourself a mitt full of candy corn, and I just love that. That's so like naive and nostalgic. And whenever he goes to like the movie store, and he's like picking out a scary VHS to watch for Halloween, like holy shit, that's like one of the only things that I feel bad for younger generations is that they didn't get that. Like everything else was worse, but like that was good. That was good time.
yeah. Now they
I
have to
also love the
scroll through
titles of
Netflix.
It's not the
That's all
same.
scrolling.
It's just not the same.
All those VHSs were fantastic too.
I
Like, what
wrote
was
some
it?
down.
Was you did? I
I
also had a
did.
list of these.
Scarewolf was my favorite, and
Scarewolf.
our
Scarewolf seems
protagonist's
cool.
favorite.
What was
Scarewolf.
it? Halloween zombie versus unicorn's horn.
Yes,
There's
zombie
one-
versus unicorn's horn, and then
Cabin in the Woods.
Xanthocroid, which I didn't.
Xanthocroid.
Yeah,
I have no
was
idea
like,
what that's about.
sure. I
I
didn't
missed
bother.
all this.
Oh, well, you have
Yeah.
to pause and like write it down like a freak.
Yeah,
You know.
it's because I mean,
But
like,
I was into it.
They made
Like
their
a
own labels,
castle
and
freak.
like you could clearly tell this was just
Yeah.
glued to the front of a VHS and then popped in.
But like that's an immediate vibe, and I'm
Yes.
here for it.
Yes, it's like this thing just screams indie cinema the entire time.
Yeah, it got +1 points. But here's the fuck of it all is like this is barely any of the movie. It's like
Yeah.
you think you're gonna get like this Halloween movie. That's not what you're
Nope.
getting.
No,
Get that. We
It's
get him
a
talking to
trick.
the cat. I love Sir Lancelot. Could you please get down?
Could you please get down, Sir Lancelot?
Fine.
He just
And
wants
then
his
just
cat.
staring at him.
And
He
it does-
resigns
doesn't.
himself because his cat won't get off of the sofa, and I'm just like, I love you. You're
It's
perfect.
perfect.
You never
No,
change.
Kate, I do agree with you. Is that like there's a certain point where like obviously getting the invitation and then walking to this place
With his bread.
with his bread, but then like
Good guess.
he keeps on walking and it gets progressively sketchier to the point where he's full running, like assholes to elbows running.
I definitely
Trying to
walked
I thought that
towards
was
that
funny.
areas, but
That
Yes.
made me laugh. That went on my laugh out loud moments list was him like running through the absolute sketchiest destinations with his pumpkin bread. I thought that was funny.
And his
I almost took a
cardboard
video
armor.
to send to you guys because just before we recorded, my wife and I went through Greenpoint, Brooklyn, which is very well where some of this could have been filmed because it's all like this industrial area. I'm like, guys, I'm heading to the murder party.
No,
it's like-
don't go. Don't go. Bring bread.
I like
Have
on
you learned nothing?
Spring
IMDb.
bread.
I don't know if you noticed on IMDb, Sir Lancelot, his name is Puff Snooty, and he's got a higher credit than some of the other actors.
His name is Puff Snooty.
Puff Snooty.
Yes.
I love Puff Snooty. Are you
That
kidding me?
is the best. Where is
So-
that?
Oh, what
Top
on IMDb,
cast?
Mr.
Hellhammer.
Puff Snooty?
Top cast, it goes Chris Sharp, Kate Porterfield, Tess Porterfield Lovell, Puff Snooty.
Puff Snooty.
Puff Snooty the cat.
That's so precious.
Puff
And then-
Snooty is higher than Macon and Lexi.
It's like I could have liked these people.
Oh,
And then-
100%.
The
I
dog also
almost
has a
did.
credit as Samson Saulnier, and under
the
their
director.
IMDb page, they have a trivia section, and it says, "Is a dog."
Is
I love it.
I like
It
the
should've
care
been
that
who
went
ate
into
crack.
the IMDb here.
I do too, especially because that dog did nothing. Like
That
it
dog
didn't
is
do
our
anything.
hero. I love that
That
It
dog
barely-
literally just like stood there.
It's the perfect
I
dog.
would have
It barely
protected it with
uncovered
my
a body.
life, though.
Hellhammer
I
is-
I did love the dog,
Mm.
and I was
It's
very
so
glad.
good.
If you guys know about doesthedogdie.com,
Yes.
I assume. Okay, good.
Mhm.
If you guys are horror, animal
It's-
lovers, fear
Yes.
not.
I did.
I
I
don't-
should have checked that when we recorded our lost
I almost
episode
yelled
of
at you again,
Alligator.
Ross. Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Don't ever
Yeah,
watch the movie
I-
Alligator.
It's just called Alligator.
Yeah.
It's just called Alligator, and there are. I'm assuming if you combine the runtime,
She's
with-
like, I'm not
with
worried
dog
about
death,
it.
it's gotta be at least like 3.8 dogs per minute die in this movie. It is like
I
it's
was
an
like, Ross,
atrocity.
what the hell are you doing to me? You did not warn me about this shit.
Alligator. I can't. That's really funny.
So
It's
ridiculous.
so-
That's they're
It's-
right. Alligators eat dogs, but I guess
Yeah, but
as far as they
I don't
went,
need to.
they're like that's scary.
There's a lot of dogs.
That's
Um,
scary. Sorry,
okay, I'm
back to
gonna-
Murder Party.
Murder Party.
This alligator gets
dude, him
loose
just-
in a kennel.
I think honestly too, what got me a laugh out loud scene was when he actually gets to the party, opens up, and everyone's just sitting there, and then they realize someone showed up.
Yeah, that was
Except
a good
everybody but
moment.
Will. Like Will's just playing like his little like video game, dressed up as one of the guys from
He had a PSP.
Warriors.
That's what it was. Yeah,
Yeah.
He was playing PlayStation. Yeah.
Yeah, and I thought the scene where they like
Who's Lexi dressed as? What's
someone
she
from Blade
supposed to
Runner,
be?
I believe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's from Blade Runner. I
Yeah.
thought she was Lulu Dallas Multipass or whatever from
Oh, yeah.
Fifth
Fifth
Element.
that other
That's
one.
it.
Yeah, from not
That's
Blade
right.
Runner.
No, yeah, Lexi's costume
The other
is
one.
Pris from Blade Runner,
Sure.
Mhm.
which is so funny
Sure,
because
yeah.
she also does the screaming weird freak out scene like in Blade Runner, except when she's like banging on the back of it. Yeah,
Oh, that would
Haven't.
explain that because as someone who hadn't seen Blade Runner,
you're just like,
I was
why the hell is she
confused.
screaming that loud on that?
there's a lot to be confused about.
There's a lot to
Yeah.
be confused about in this movie. Okay, all right. I'm just gonna throw my favorite scene in this film is
Mhm.
when he escapes and then he goes into the closet before because they're
Oh,
basically they're
okay.
going to try to stab him at midnight and he gets out
Mhm.
and then he has this MacGyver moment where he's like I gotta look at all this shit so like he looks
Yeah.
and like I'm thinking he's gonna build something or like he's got it's like the what is the fire extinguisher and a bunch of
Yeah.
other stuff and then he hops out and he just throws it all on the ground.
Oh yeah.
That made me
I thought
laugh. I like that.
everything
That
with
was
the
cute.
protagonist was like pretty cute. I think
Yeah.
that if I can be very honest,
Mm.
it's like
Mm.
I know. And by honest, that usually means mean. So I'm gonna be just like a little bit mean and
Yeah,
say
lay it on us.
Yeah.
I don't
I-
care. Fuck this movie.
no, I could have loved it is the thing. I was so close. I really liked the protagonist. It was the ensemble. And it wasn't each person
Mhm.
individually. Because there was a scene and I wrote it down and the moments that I really liked, which was right before the scene that Ross just described, where he escapes, our protagonist escapes. And
Mhm.
the reason he escapes is because no one can decide where they want to order dinner from. And it's very cute.
Mhm.
And you get like these like talking heads of each actor individually and they're like doing their own thing. And I feel like the characters really shine in moments like that.
Mhm.
But I feel like if I'm going to be honest, these actors are not experienced enough to be their own character and also like react to other characters in a believable way because they were so
Totally.
focused on their character. So when they're alone, I'm like, I'm with you. I believe you're a believable character. But when they're an ensemble, they just don't have that charisma for me. And so that's why I think the beginning and the end of this movie were the best parts of this movie.
Totally. I think like
so you don't think the actors can act very well?
I think that they're
Together.
new. I think that they're new. And I think that whenever they were their own characters, it was
Mhm.
great. But it felt like, I don't even know if that it was the
You're being
actors. It
so
almost feels
nice
like
about
the
it.
direction. It honestly
Yes.
almost feels like the direction. It feels like they were each given their own separate thing, but like they didn't workshop together or something because they were
Sure.
very like
I
their
think
I see
own
it.
thing.
a lot
I
of
think-
the
Bunch of friends making a movie together. It
And
makes
at
sense.
this
Yeah.
point, and what not upsets me about the film, but like, and I hate being like, you should have done this with your movie, but I was
Yeah.
hoping for more when the part where he escapes is that we would got more of a cat and mouse situation at that point of each of these character types chasing after him,
chasing him down,
down, and him getting
totally.
into a situation where it is almost accidentally killing them.
Yeah.
being,
One-on-one.
using his funny little
Yep.
charisma, because he was
I do
great.
love.
I wanted more of him doing stuff.
Oh, he's the highlight of the entire film by far.
What's
think
his
that-
name?
It's Chris.
Okay.
Yeah, so we got Chris Sharp played Christopher S. Howell.
Wait, Chris, I should have
Ollie?
guessed.
Oh,
I should have
Chris.
guessed.
Chris played Chris in this movie.
Oh, that's very
Um,
cute.
Although his
Underutilized. I think Chris was underutilized.
100%.
Agreed.
Like his cardboard camouflage, like when they cut over and he's gone, and then he's behind the box of stuff,
It's
but he's
funny.
also covered in boxes, and then just his physical comedy is fucking 10 out of 10 for me.
I
like,
think
the
so too.
entire
I would like
movie.
to see him in something else, honestly. I think that he could really shine.
Oh, huge! I think honestly, to me, most of the weird rogues gallery for the murder party, I did not have a problem with acting wise
Mm.
until what was it? Alexander, the guy. I have a grant. Is it
Oh, that guy's
300,000?
the
Oh, I'm sorry, it's
worst.
$500,000.
I
He's
liked
the
him.
oh my god, he's
Like,
okay,
You're
but
talking about the leader of this whole
Alexander.
thing.
Yeah.
Alexander.
Oh, I thought he was hilarious.
He's so funny because like I
I
can't
thought he
tell.
was the only one who got it. That's so. I'm sorry. What were you saying,
No,
Ross? Okay,
but no, it's weird.
explain the character first. I want people to
Okay,
know
yes.
So
who we're
he's-
talking about.
He is
Thank
this. He's basically like the ringleader, kind of. So he has all these other artists that are vying for this grant that he's kind of like putting over, like the carrot that he's kind of leaning over. So like he's basically like getting these guys all doped up. He's having sex with them and a bunch of other stuff in the auspice of like this crazy art community thing for this grant that he's doing. And he's just a line cook whose BFF is a drug dealer behind a pierogi shop. So like
Yeah.
that is.
I don't even think that's his actual best friend. He tells everybody they're his best friend.
Oh yeah,
So I
no,
think
it's his
that-
drug dealer. No, it's his
It's
drug. I
just-
mean, he's
yeah.
getting
Right.
bags of crank and stuff like that.
Oh, God.
But his acting
Which-
is so
Does
bad.
the dog eat it? What?
Yes, and then it's
Presumably,
him.
yes, he is munching
And then-
on
It's
some
like a
wet brain.
cocaine bear
Do we ever
situation.
see
Yes.
anything happen to the dog after
No.
that?
No, he
Crank
just
dog.
bites off the dude's face a little bit.
Oh yeah, that I forgot about that.
Yeah, yeah.
I apologize.
Yes, he loses his lips at a certain point, I guess. No, okay. So
Oh, yeah.
with Alexander though, his acting is so bad, and I don't know if that's because
Really bad.
his acting is so bad or that his character is so full of shit that you're supposed to know from like Jump Street that this guy is just so fake on so many
No,
different levels,
well.
like ahead of the character.
It still could have been done better.
Yes, I
Even if
agree.
it was that.
100%. I'm not arguing that point. I'm just saying that Alexander, he's got this. It's like it's so cheesy. There's
This is-
so much cheese.
I'm so glad you said cheesy. So I have
Please.
like a weakness for a type of horror, and that's very campy horror.
Yes.
And
Yeah, I
this
love
guy
camp.
was serving so much camp that I could not get enough of him. Like he was everything. I have a line that he said that I watched like 3 times, and it just says "cause of death, art."
Oh my god.
And he like delivered it
So
so
here's what's funny.
well, like so over the top. I'm not saying, and honestly,
I
I'm
laughed
really not
when
giving
you
that.
just did it. I did not
I
laugh when
know,
I watched it in the movie
you're right,
twice.
You're right.
So-
I'm giving the character a bit much. I think I like the character more than I like the actor. But
Oh,
I
that,
like.
I think-
that makes
yeah,
sense.
I agree
can
with
get behind that.
Yeah.
I'll accept that.
Yeah. Okay. Back in.
God, I think I think probably close second would be Mr. Werewolf himself, Macon, who's also played by Macon. Macon Blair is Macon in this movie.
No way.
Just the idea of murdering someone and then just getting just wheat pasting their obituary into a giant sculpture. I find that so funny. That's the first thing he thought about as a character.
Or we
He's
could
like,
just
well, we're
staple a pancake to their face and throw them in front of a G train, and
For
no
the
one will know.
G-train.
just-
Nobody
I
can know
like
about it.
that.
Nobody's gonna know
That
about
was
it.
great.
That
More
was
stuff
funny.
like that. That's funny. Like that's
Yes.
funny.
And I feel
Oh,
like
God.
he got screwed over with his death, to be honest. I mean, I know that's way at the end
Yeah.
here, but he just falls off the building.
He
Like-
did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lame.
It's
Yeah,
like,
he
oh
did.
well, I enjoyed you, bud.
That's
Yeah.
a I
See you
honestly
later.
feel like that's a budget kill. As in, like, if you're going to kill Will like
A
that...
lot of budget stuff.
Yeah, if you're going to kill Will like that, they're like, okay, well, we've only got room for this, so unless he's, sitting directly behind him, we'll just have him fall out the window.
That's definitely why the whole last scene is just blood splatter.
Blood splatter,
As
and you don't
opposed to
see
seeing
anything
anything.
at all. Yeah.
100%.
And when Macon's on fire and comes back with, like, the burned
that part's
melty
funny,
face
too, because
thing.
they're having the conversation inside, and you can hear him screaming outside the whole time.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
I did think his look after was funny, but you don't see any of that. You know what I mean? You just see flames
It's just
and
all,
someone in front of the camera.
burnt and crusty. I do really like the juxtaposition of Will's character just sitting out there in his warriors, just dissing the dog the entire time. He's just yelling
Will,
at
that made me
like,
hate the
I
dog.
hate
I was like, what the fuck is he about to do to this dog?
Oh my
I swear to
God.
God.
No, that's what I'm like, oh my God, he's a complete sociopath. But then
I knew
he
they
is.
didn't have the budget for it, to be
yeah,
honest.
they don't have
Like,
a
Would have
budget
been
for
off
that.
screen.
Yeah, it would have been an
Yeah.
off-screen kill, and I would have been fine. So I was okay.
But dude, fucking Macon covered in moonshine and then lighting a cigarette and then engulfing himself in flames next to that dog. I also do like the fact where they tried saving him and they ran out, didn't have one that worked, ran back in, got the photography assistant to go back out, then to put him back out. I was like, oh.
I like that.
Physical comedy in this was fantastic.
What I liked better, and actually was a cheaper scene for them, is whenever, I forgot what his name is. He's my favorite one. He's unhinged.
Chris?
He is like
Is he the guy who's going to be murdered or one of the people?
one of the artists.
Okay.
And he's got eyes like this. He's got bug eyes. And he just like goes nuts, and he grabs the bottle of acid, quote unquote bottle of acid that they brought in preparation for this event to sacrifice this person. And he's like, I'm sorry, and like throws all this acid all over our protagonist. And then they're like, and he's like, what have I done? And it's acetic acid, which is vinegar.
Yeah.
That's funny.
That was great.
That's
and that
funny.
cost $3. So like I could have done with so much more of like these like this like Home Alone situation where like they don't really know what they're doing.
That makes it honestly, because there's so many gags you could do with inept murderers like that could have gone,
because these are inept murderers.
Imagine if each one of them had like a room in this warehouse that as he escapes, he runs into the room that they had set up for a kill. So you go into the photographer,
like an
vampire
art
photographer.
gallery situation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's him going through and then, I don't know, dealing with that stuff.
Are we writing this
I smell a
movie
remake.
right now? Oh my God,
the
are we
remake of
doing
Murder
this?
Party.
Are we doing this? Murder Party 2? Not associated with the first Murder Party for legal reasons?
Not even close. All right, well, that's
We're
actually
gonna have
really
to call it Chuddle Party.
Name's always so gross.
The Chuddle Party.
It sounds so gross.
The Chuddle Party?
Was there anything? I don't honestly. For me, I don't think there was anything in this movie that like that just like scared me. As in, like, there wasn't a lot of like no jump scares. Really, like it's just more gory, I guess, at certain parts that would be. But
the N-word was pretty scary for me.
Oh yes.
Uncomfortable.
Actually, we know.
I didn't love it.
Now that we're in a spoiler mode, we can talk about that. So, like, there's an entire scene where they all decide to take this like truth serum, right? But it's weird because like you have this drug dealer that's in there the entire time, and then like he just says it, and you're like, "Whoa!"
She says it,
and then she says it.
Like, well, she repeats it, and she because of how powerful it is, and she's like, "Look, I said it. Everybody's so uncomfortable."
Yes, and then. Oh my God!
That we gotta chalk up to the times. You know what I mean?
100%.
It's like one of those things.
That's
and like,
such a like.
But she could
thing.
still talk about how powerful it is and just say the N-word. And not say the actual words. Yes. Say what I just said.
I hate to say it though, like, dude, one of those scenes is so true to pretentious asshole art people. Is that like having those kind of conversations? That is such a. Like that's
I'm sorry. Does it make you uncomfortable?
Yeah, like
no, I agree.
Kind of level, like, of course,
I don't think it was needed for the movie.
It's a fucking like, what are you doing?
I think they could have not had that in the movie and still made the point that all these artists are like assholes.
100%.
I think the point was already made.
Yeah.
I think that my issue watching this in 2023 was like the cast is immediately not diverse at all.
Oh no!
No. And then we just start throwing out the N-word, and I'm like, whoa.
Right. Why does
you can't do that and not
thing?
have anyone of color on your like salary? Yes. I'm so sorry.
100%.
No, also you can't do that. But you know, again, it was like 2007. Everyone was fucking an idiot. That's not making an excuse for it. But we just we have to compartmentalize some stuff. Or
I totally get that. Because it's like in a lot of respects, you're like, you can't, like you said, you can't really like you have such a white bread cast on this. Like there's no diversification of this cast at all. And then having those kind of things, you're like, well, all right, that.
Well, it just like wasn't for a purpose. Like I can compare it to like The Craft.
The point was already made.
Yeah. Like so, The Craft is one of my favorite movies.
Do they use it in The Craft? I haven't seen it in so long. They use a similar
word. Yes. And
oh boy.
Yeah, it's one that God, I hate this. No, I'm not gonna say. I'm going to say her name because if I call her Ben Stiller's wife, I'm an asshole.
Oh, you are.
Why? But I'm going to Google it. Christine Taylor, I'm sorry. Christine Taylor, I love you.
She is a listener.
Yes. I'm sure she's a big Chuddle fan. But yeah, she's in The Craft and she's like this horrible, pompous, like racist white girl in like this rich Catholic school. And there's like a black girl and she just like confidently uses racial slurs. And then she like gets what's coming to her. And I have mugs.
Well, then it kind of has. They're making the racist the bad guy, and they get their comeuppance. You're making
so
a
that's
villain,
how
right?
it's different.
Yeah,
right.
This
exactly.
is just saying, and you're like, what the fuck? Like it looked like it was a different script, and then someone actually put it in, and you're like, what?
Someone. Oops. I hope it. We'll call it an accident.
It's not, and it's
one of those you're
like,
our bad. We're sorry.
I think they were just trying to be edgy.
They were trying to be edgy because it was 2007. It was like Dane Cook, like Jesus Christ. We try not to think of that 2007.
Speaking of edges, and
I was going to say speaking of Dane Cook. I was horrified.
Speaking of Dane Cook, no, that would be worse than this.
Let's all say a quick prayer to the God. DC.
Wow.
No.
No, let's get into the kills.
DC.
And
Sam's a big Dane Cook head. No, we're joking.
We're going to get into...
No.
I've brought it up a few times. I think it's probably because of budget. The amount of head wounds that happen in this movie
it's a lot.
is flabbergasting.
A lot of immediately fatal head wounds.
Fatal head wounds.
I'm not going to lie, most head wounds are.
At least 3.
Yes.
They tend to be not good when they happen. But I think the director did have a propensity for and then there's blunt force trauma to the temple area.
Every single time. Get shot in the... we're going to have you walk around a little bit, but we're also going to shoot you in the head coming out of the temple, but I need you to get your photo first.
Listen, I'm tearing this movie to shreds, and for that I do apologize. I don't
think you are.
I apologize a little bit, though, because I see what this movie almost was.
Yes.
And it's almost like... So I'm just going to fess up right now, Ross, between you and me. Around 2007, I was really into Garden State. I was one of those.
Oh, hey.
Yep.
I was one of those.
Join the club.
Garden
State and Dane Cook.
Right. It's you listen to the Shins.
What were we doing?
And you consume the media that you consume. That's what it is. And then you look back and you're like, oh, that's a problematic movie. That wasn't as good. But it's still nostalgic. And do I still love that soundtrack? You bet your sweet ass.
Yes. It's a
I
fantastic
love that soundtrack. Do I regret watching this movie? No, because I've never seen a movie like it. It was bizarre. And it was entirely its own thing. And for that, respect, man. Yeah,
it's got
respect.
Some problems. Though.
It's got some problems. It's from 2007. But I'm still here for it. I'm still here for a ragtag group of friends making a horror movie where there's a lot of head wounds. I'm into it. So
sure.
I get the appeal.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, too. I also like the fact that the first one was caused by raisins. Because it was
non-organic.
Because they weren't organic, especially.
Preservatives.
It wasn't the raisin. It was the preservative.
The character to pass out and hit her head.
I do like the fact too that she's the only character of the movie that was you know what? I have a really good idea that's bloody and off-putting, but no one has to die. And that is, and then she falls, and then what does she say afterwards? She's got
something
this
I
huge
smell
cut grass.
Yeah.
I googled smell of fresh cut grass after that. I was like, is that a medical thing? And all that came up was that the smell of fresh cut grass is actually grass releasing like a distress signal,
it's dying.
and that's why.
Yeah.
So
I've heard that about like fresh baked bread. So I just say that to freak people out. So like if anyone's like
about the smell of anything,
yeah,
Smells like this
everyone's like,
thing
I
is
smell
dying.
coffee. I'm like, that's weird. That's the last thing you smell before you die.
Oh, shit.
Oh my god.
I'm always worried when I smell bread burning.
Could be a stroke.
I'm like,
Never
is this
know.
it? Is this it?
No.
You're like,
This is it.
could be toast, could be an aneurysm.
Uh-huh.
And it's not up to me.
I just smell rye.
That is literally, y'all, that people in their 20s don't think like this. This is what I'm learning. This is what I'm learning. Because I'm 29 and I'm like, I'm worried about the smell of fresh cut grass.
Anything.
Uh-huh.
Any random
It's coming
smell
for
during
me.
my day that shouldn't be there, horrifying.
No, it could be death. Not
Yeah.
into it. Sorry, I didn't mean to take away from the reason that we're here, the reason for the season.
remind
I
us
feel
all
like
of
that
our
when
own
they are
mortality.
Yeah.
when they decide to put her into the freezer or whatever, there's
Sure.
the part where they like roll her up on the tarp and like, how do you want to do this? Like a burrito was the answer. I don't know if there's like a little dialogue
burrito?
going on in the background. And then I do like also when our main character Chris is like, they're trying to like wrangle him from getting away, and there's like super
Mhm.
dramatic music playing, but they're like flopping all over the place. That was hilarious.
Yes.
Like
That was
so
funny. I
good.
did
Yeah.
like that.
I just, in
I
the
don't
I
same
don't even remember
keynote with
noticing
that
that.
with that tarp, we was like, but the tarp's for him.
oh, but the tarp's for him. Just get the tarp. Yeah.
Just get the goddamn
I mean,
tarp.
I thought anytime that the like main like villain ensemble was like bumbling, I thought that was
Mhm.
funny. I thought they were good at that.
Yeah. I mean,
was-
just
it
as
was
like
good.
even from the first one where it's Macon's character has the axe and he's about to chomp it down,
And it-
but they get,
yeah.
get caught on the fucking light was like, oh, okay, all right, so this is what it's like a Three Stooges. Is like the entire
Yeah.
thing is them trying to murder this guy and just not happening.
That part didn't particularly work for me, but when it happened, I was like, I bet Ross likes this bit. It just felt like your type of bit.
I thought it was cute. I thought it was like very Tucker and Dale.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I was like, fantastic. I think probably, honestly, the only other real, standout kill / gore scene is Will's chainsaw to the face.
Yeah.
That
That's
is
like-
the standout. Yeah,
That is,
absolutely.
Hard to ignore.
Oh,
Very
yeah.
impressed by that.
Direct
Yeah.
eye contact, like not very few and far between. In a lot of like cleaving and dismemberment ones, you're gonna have that anguish, like oh no, like that squint, like
Mhm.
closed
His
eyes.
eyes
He is
wide.
looking right at you, like he knows
That's
exactly.
right on his face, and the saw's moving. It was
saw's
That was
moving.
a
impressive.
really
Yeah.
good effect.
Really well put together.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Do you think that they just figured out that chainsaw head gag and was like, "Listen, we got to like write a whole movie around"?
No, they actually
this
killed
one
him. This
gag?
is a snuff
No,
film.
Oh,
Actually-
It feels like a snuff film. Brian, I'm so
Yeah.
glad you said that. I'm like,
It's-
is this a snuff film? Like, it
Uh-huh.
could
So
be.
that's
I have no way
Ross's
of knowing.
favorite subgenre.
and this is why this is one of my favorites.
Yes.
If
When
this is
you picked this, we were like,
Concerned,
"Fuck,
Ross.
she picked this snuff film."
giant red
Aren't we?
flag.
Weren't you tucking in your children before this?
Yes.
Terrified. I'm worried about it.
Horrified.
Worried about
That's
it.
why.
CPS
That's why
has already
Ross-
been involved.
Yeah, good. No, I'm joking. We need more horror babies out there. Get
All the
more horror
time.
babies in there.
No, it is. I think honestly, I think the chainsaw scene, the head scene, to me works so well is because of how weird all the other gore. I mean, shy of melted werewolf mask onto a guy,
Which was a
like
lot.
that one was fucking cool. Like I
thought that
really
was
liked that
cool.
character
Yeah.
design.
That was
But everything else is like literally like squibs to the temple and like
Mhm.
very simplistic gore gags.
A lot of
most this.
off-screen blood
And
splatter.
yes, I mean,
Yeah.
there's just definitely super soakers full of just fake blood just splatting on walls. But then you
Right.
actually get like melted werewolf and then the chainsaw face. I think it's because everything else was so not PG in the fact of just like everything's all the gore is so toned down that when you get to those scenes, you're like, holy shit.
Budgetarily PG.
Yes, there we go. That's yes. Yeah,
But
yeah.
until it's not. Until you're like, oh, that's where it went.
Oh,
Got it.
Yeah. Okay, fair
Yeah,
enough.
It's like,
Okay,
oh,
that's
there's a
what-
chainsaw in his face. Oh, okay.
Okay, that's where you kept the budget.
All
All right,
right,
that's
got it. You could have warned me, but that's okay.
perfect.
And I like when Chris is running on the rooftop, runs into the party, is like screaming out, I need a cell phone, then runs into the stairwell, and there's the guy dressed in the cell phone costume.
Cell
That was
phone?
fun.
I like that. That was bizarre.
Yeah.
And they just look at each other and goes,
It's cute.
But then, and then
so good.
The werewolf dude running with his chainsaw and his extension cord. Great. Loved it all. And then, like we said, he gets the shitty way out. The budget kill just falls off the roof. Just
falls off a goddamn
which
building.
Leads the chainsaw to Chris, but I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I wanted more.
But honestly,
for werewolf.
Yeah, but just like...
more for werewolf. I agree.
Well... to encapsulate,
could have fallen onto something cool.
You could have just fallen onto something.
If he had
okay, literally some people did, and that's how they died. So it's not that ridiculous of a concept. That's how half of them died. They fell on something.
But like the missed opportunity of burnt werewolf man falling off of a building onto, say, like, I don't know, an animal control van would be hilarious to me. You know what I mean? Like a Brooklyn, New York City, like,
Oh
where it could be like,
Ross. Don't tell. We're writing
the remake. We're
writing this later.
The requel.
I haven't contacted my lawyer. Say nothing.
Trust me, I'm having a whole sequel, prequel, whatever we're making.
It's already written.
Small subnotes where we're just going to be throwing
Thanks
in
for
there.
including us.
I just want a producer credit. Is all I want.
That reminds
100%.
me.
Okay, great.
I gotta say, my favorite line while I'm thinking of it
Tell me.
Is well, I didn't sign up for second degree assault party.
That's right, just like that. That's right. Damn it, there's some good.
Bill.
It's like,
Hey, do you want to murder this guy?
That are really good.
So good.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get. I only got it on my second watch through that. The party at the end is Cicero's
party that they talk about in the first part. Yeah.
So that's
if I hadn't watched it a second time, I wouldn't have got that.
I like his little nod to Warriors in, like, when Will shows up and he goes, "Oh,
hey, I dig it.
Good, you dig it." So good.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. Yeah. All right. So I guess we're gonna probably take a break, and then we're gonna get into the last two sections of Six Questions. How do you say that again, Brian Sam?
I don't remember the back 12.
The other, we're going to go back to the murder party for the other 12 questions of 6, and then also subsequently 6 after that. And we're back. It's 6 again, part 2, the guest of honor. All right, guys. So we've been invited to the murder party.
The murder party.
We go to the murder party. Are we surviving this murder party?
Yes.
100% yes.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it.
I would probably say...
I'm not worried about us.
Yeah.
Not even a little.
I'm going to be totally honest with you guys. I would probably get halfway through the walk that our main character did and then be like, I'm okay. I think I'm just going to go back to that. Yeah.
Well, sure, there's a lot of that, but even if we end up in this place, people are so fucking inept.
There, we can handle all these people. You could probably just start talking art to them.
Yeah. I'm imagining like I've had a really good night and then some guy is like, we're going to another party.
Oh, don't go to the second location.
Party. And then it's this one. And then I'm dumber in this. It's a murder one. But he didn't tell me that.
Yes.
Didn't tell me it was a murder party. That's how they get you.
Tell you it's a murder party.
But if you ask them, they have to tell you. It's like a cop situation.
The law.
Yes,
yeah. Right. You're like, is this a murder party?
Ah, you got me.
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
Fuck. All right. Are you still? Do you still want to come?
You want to go?
No. Okay, I'm assuming that's okay. That's a pass. Okay, that's understandable.
All right.
All right. So, did anything pull you guys out of this movie while you were watching it?
The hard R.
Hard R definitely pulled me out for no reason.
And the whole other racist stuff.
I just lost interest a few times as well. We'll get to that on engaging.
Okay, you know what's weird that pulled me out of the movie? The beginning of the movie. I think but not a bad way. Where I was like, man, this is like great Halloween footage and a bunch of other stuff. And then as the movie goes on, I'm like, I felt like I was watching not as bad as like Night of the Beast, Night of the Demon, where it was like because that's 3 films bled into each other and then re-edited. Like you can clearly, I don't know, for some reason I could clearly tell that like either the first part of this movie wasn't the original beginning or had to do something totally different. Like it was, I could feel like it was shot way before this movie was ever made.
Right. No, you're right. It was it felt like Trick or Treat to me.
Yes. Yeah.
But then it wasn't.
Totally
not. It was something completely different. Like, so like that's, and I was so in for this movie, Ross. I was so in. It was like trick-or-treaters, these like dense group of trick-or-treaters that you only really see in like 90s movies. And like immediate smash a jack-o'-lantern, like red title card. I was here. I was ready for it.
Yeah.
And then, like, the rest of the movie had
Slowly
nothing to
chipped away at you.
They did. They're
Yeah.
like,
Slowly erodes the excitement.
it was
like,
working. Oh my God. The glass bowl of candy corn, that did it for me. I'm like, yeah, I'm in. And then
Done.
there was no Halloween for the rest of the movie. And I was like, it's sad. That's like real Halloween.
Yeah, right. Especially with the
Then
level
it's
of
over and you're sad.
It's like the level of handmade costumes as well. I was like, this is great. Okay, everyone handmade their costumes. This is fantastic. I'm really going to get into this. And then none of that, there's really no payout for that. I was like, it pulled me out a little bit on that.
I think that might have something to do with the budget, but like I could have used like a Halloween like party, like just get some blue lights, get some fog machines.
Yeah, even what was it, Sister Rose party? No one was. I mean, I don't think anybody was dressed up at his party. Everybody was just hanging out normal.
I just feel like it's really easy to do. Like Scream 6 did it, like Scream 5 did it. You just like have a frat house and throw a fog machine in it and some red Solo cups, and then it's
They
a
had a
mystery
warehouse.
party.
They had
Just,
like a setup
at a
or
bare
something.
minimum, just different hats.
Yeah.
Just give.
Yeah,
They could have. I don't know.
they could have.
They could have.
Coulda and they shoulda.
And we will.
They should have. We will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
In our
Places
sequel,
they never
we absolutely
dreamed.
will. So did this have, all right, what kind of tone or vibe did this movie have or give you guys? For me, it was
New
just very
York.
indie, as in like everything was
New
just
York.
like indie.
It's a New York vibe.
It gave me
It's
some
New York.
Pizza Rat vibes.
Nice.
I was like, man, New York's a dirty city. That's what I thought.
Oh, Brian.
That's true.
That's true.
Aw.
Like, this didn't give me straight up like trauma movie, like that level of independent movie vibes, but it definitely was like, okay, this was definitely a group of people making this movie. Like this, there's nothing about this movie screams budget.
Oh yeah, 100%
Yeah.
independent, artsy. It made it like, I don't know. I felt like there's too many. It felt like a collective of people making something with too many ideas going into
Yeah.
it is the problem, and I think that's its ultimate failure. Because like I don't know, we
Too many cooks.
Judgment is
It
cast.
was probably with good intentions, right? Like it was probably like
Oh, of course.
a group
yeah.
of friends who all had this great idea, but like someone's got to be the leader and there has to be a vision. And I didn't really, I couldn't figure out why these people knew each other.
Yes. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like-
You
yeah.
have to
Part
get
of an
like
art
almost
collective, I guess.
the entire way through the movie to realize like, okay, they kind of know each other, but don't know each other.
I
And, like-
wasn't rooting for them, and I needed to be rooting for them.
Yes.
Because that's the whole movie is like this art project murder party that they've planned. That's the name of the
The
fucking
whole-
movie. And I didn't care about
Yeah.
them because I just wasn't rooting for them. I was rooting for our protagonist, which is saying a lot because he didn't do anything. He said goodbye to his cat, and I'm like, sold.
Well,
Oh, damn.
We liked him right away.
We liked him right away.
My
That's-
problem
yeah.
is that he was, I
He's
was
just
with you guys.
likable.
I liked him right away. He was
He
great. And
was
then
underutilized.
he's gagged and bound to a chair, and we lose him for like the majority of the rest
It
of
is
the movie.
funny
It's
that
like,
the
wow.
strongest character is literally immobile the entire.
I feel like they were like, whatever. I'm going to make up a name. They were like, Brad is like the best actor of all of us. He's going to be the protagonist. He's got 5 lines, but he's the main character of this show.
Right.
And
He
I'm like,
knows these
well,
5 lines.
that's a problem. I'd rather have gagged another one, but that's okay.
He should have been Alexander.
Oh god! All right. So, is there anything about this movie that's unusual for the genre of?
All of it. What genre? Like,
Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
that's a really
I
good
guess
point.
it's supposed to be
point.
horror comedy. I would say this is like kind of a dark comedy.
Black.
as opposed
I would
to
call
other
it a
horror
black comedy.
Black. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I mean by that. Yeah.
because I
And also-
wouldn't like the horror comedy crowd. I don't think would like it.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
particularly.
But
And
black
I love
comedy,
horror
I think,
comedies.
would really like it.
Right.
People who are into like absurd black comedy.
Yes.
I don't really like that type of comedy so
Mhm.
much, so it makes sense.
Tell us
So-
how you really feel, Sam. We're just like all wondering.
Yeah.
We're all waiting with bated breath.
We'll get there.
We'll get there.
not really a message to this movie. Then it's
No.
Art,
No.
art people
artists-
are
artists
annoying,
are-
and we don't like
yeah.
them.
Yes,
But we
They're
are
all
them.
their own
not-
ass.
But we are them.
Like
yeah.
our art
it's
is
a
the
big
correct
mirror.
art to make fun of this art.
Yes.
And I mean,
We made this art.
Am I Robbie?
Which is art.
am I Robbie? Yeah, I
You're
mean,
right.
we're
Art's
all
dumb.
been
Unless you're
art
making
kids
fun
in
of
some
it,
respect
and then it's cool.
hung out with art kids.
I know.
It's like
Look
all
at
right.
us,
So
already
besides-
writing a
Come on.
sequel.
I'm just gearing this towards Brian. Was this a setting you were familiar with?
yeah, kinda. I mean,
Did you walk
I
those
mean,
streets?
well, you know the setting of the art scene, so that was definitely a setting itself. But just like New York, Brooklyn, all that kind of stuff. I mean, I was like, yeah, that looks very much like an area where all artists and stuff would be hanging out and doing all the shit that they're doing. So
like being in the back rooms of these areas.
I mean, I'm sure wherever they were filming is probably all built up into condos, just like they said in the movie. I mean,
they did say that. There was some commentary.
I don't know if they're
their
condos now, but like they said, these condos will be our artist lofts. I do like the premise of the movie that he was bringing them all together to kill them so that he could then sell their art because it was more valuable.
Yeah,
that was fun. I forgot to mention that. Okay.
At least it makes that more. But makes more sense than that.
Alexander.
Kind of familiar with it.
All right.
Okay. All right, Ross left for hopefully he'll come back for his rating because he's going to be the only one with a positive one, I think. 6 returns, The Witching Hours, Last Stab, our final 6 questions. Our villain level, this is where we rate our villain 1 through 10. I'm giving our villains a 1. I don't think there's anything memorable.
I gotta say a 1.
Yep. Yeah.
It's probably for the best that Ross had to step away from this part.
Now we can really trash this.
It's probably for the best because I really enjoy Ross, and I've been there, man. Yeah. I have bared my soul with a horror movie, and it did not gain favor. So, like, I get it, but no,
totally.
The villains are the worst part of the movie.
I think we've all been there. Yeah, it's
we've all been there.
They're not great. So, okay, 1 coming from us. We'll get Ross to like chime in on like the Discord or the Instagram. So you have to go follow
defend yourself
to feel that shit. All right. Does this deserve a sequel? Should there be a sequel?
Yes. And we're going to write it.
Yes. Now I say yes. My original answer is no.
100% this deserves a sequel. And honestly, I think it's going to be one of those movies that like everyone's like, there was a first one. It'll be like a Troll 2 situation.
Yes, precisely.
So I'm very excited about the sequel. So this next
one won't be a murder party then?
No, it's going to be very different. It's going to be like...
There is never a party or a murder.
I think that we involve some supernatural elements, like just out of nowhere, or like sci-fi elements. But it's going to be like...
It's a guy
it's not
alone
living
on the moon.
They're all accidentally killing themselves.
They're all going to trip and hit themselves in the temple is how they all die.
It's the only movie with nothing but temple deaths.
Yeah, it's just
there's
straight
no deaths.
death.
It's in it's a bunch of people being born.
That's the first one. The second one's going to be a blast. Okay. And I'm very excited to share that with you guys.
Fantastic. All right, it's coming.
Yeah, y'all
soon.
Stay tuned for that one.
Exactly. All right, would you buy the soundtrack or score on vinyl? No.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes. I want the vibe of Murder Party in my house, just like as I'm like cleaning. I want that vibe 100%.
Oh, interesting.
Yes.
Okay.
No hesitation at all. I want the vinyl of Murder Party.
Fantastic.
There's a couple rock songs in there. One of them sounded like Jimi Hendrix.
Those are terrible. I don't want any of that.
Oh, the rock songs are so funny.
I want the low budget, like this was done on a keytar.
Oh, sure.
Vinyl.
Okay. You want like a score.
I want the original score. I do not want the soundtrack.
There we go.
That's
important.
It's very important.
That's a big difference. Otherwise, you're
very
going to get rock and roll.
Yeah, no.
That
was
this
bad.
is a song that sounds like Jimi Hendrix, but it's not.
Yeah. But it's not because we couldn't afford that. 100%. That's what it was. Oh my God, Sam, I didn't put it together. I was like, this feels like something, but it isn't something. And that's what it was.
This is the other friend in the collective that wasn't on screen.
Yeah.
Is there anything action figure worthy? I'd say, I would definitely take a Hellhammer action figure, and our main character would be cool.
I would get like a cardboard knight for sure.
Yeah.
Sir Lancelot, the cat.
If they had him like he is on the poster with the double chainsaws and the blood splatter.
Yeah.
Wait, can I show you guys my favorite action figure? Hold on.
Yes.
Oh no, his hat. Okay.
Oh no.
I don't want you to see his hat. He's not ready. Okay. This is a bit of a tangent, and I do hope that you guys have seen Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Fuck yes. Oh my God, Sam hates this movie. I love it so much.
This is the best movie ever. Sam.
Okay, so I listened to your episode on this to get a judge.
Really?
Yes, and I was like, this is fantastic. You mentioned I think wanting the soundtrack. I own the soundtrack on vinyl. Because they made, like, Ross has it too. Like, we both got it.
It came with a cell from the movie.
Yeah.
It did. I almost got it. Like, I don't have anything. I don't have for like anything
so
to play
good.
vinyl. But God damn it, I need it. And I
It's
have
so
this
good.
guy and I love him.
It's so
I
good.
love him so much. If you guys, if you're at home and you're listening, Silent Night, Deadly Night, go check it out. It's a great Christmas movie. And I have a figurine, an amazing joint. He has joints. Figurine of the antagonist.
Billy? What was his name?
Billy?
His name
Billy?
is Saint Nick.
Billy.
His name is Santa Claus. It is Billy.
So I don't think this is a spoiler for anything, but in Scream 6, Ghostface at one point says something about punish, and I was like, oh my God, it's Billy.
It's Billy. It's Billy. That's his shit.
That's what I wanted, the crossover I've always wanted.
Oh my God. Can you imagine? Maybe
Okay.
one day.
We were just talking about our love of Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Ross is here.
Oh,
Yes, Ross is back.
You just missed our very special guest, this action
Oh,
figure I have
bloody.
from Silent Night, Deadly Night. Sam is fuming over there.
Oh, that's so good.
It's so
God.
good,
Sam
and you're
just quit the
wrong.
pod.
I don't know what to tell you.
Okay, so we were asking.
I don't know how it could possibly be
The
enjoyed.
vinyl.
It's so good.
I guess I
The
can't say that.
vinyl.
It does have its
With the
moments.
little
It has
screen captions.
every moment.
Oh,
Every moment. Anyway, we're not here to talk about that. I just got excited.
Hell yeah.
Continue.
We were talking
I
about
just
our
got very
action
excited.
figure. We were at that
Yeah.
moment. We were saying,
Yeah.
yes, our Chris action figure and his cardboard
For sure.
Sir
in the
Lancelot would be
cardboard.
awesome.
oh
I
yeah.
said a Hellhammer action figure I would love.
Yeah.
How about you, Ross?
I mean, any of them, honestly. I
Really?
think Burnt Werewolf would be fantastic. With
Burnt
like,
Werewolf is good.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
I would say
with
with
the
like
chainsaw.
I get what would be a reverse
Flip
grappling
your ass,
belt
Ross.
where you could hang them and then it just drops them from locations like that. So you can just like speed dropping or like
Sure.
Oh, like this, yeah, like super action figure. It has like a rope that has a retractable thing and all that. Fun.
Mhm.
So, okay, I'll just continue the questions. What merch or prop would you want from the film?
Oh,
The cat. I just want the whole cat.
Just the cat.
The entire
I'll take the
yeah, I'll
dog.
take. Yeah.
the dog. is
Either or.
best.
I mean, or
Yeah.
both.
Yeah, there's nothing that like stood out. I don't
The
want
costume?
I don't want a cardboard gross costume.
Yeah, I want that.
Oh, yeah, that's
actually.
right,
I
'cause
do
it's
want
vinegar-
it.
it's
The
covered in
19th
vinegar.
century vampire costume.
I want the. Oh my God!
Yes.
That was very. What's that
Interview
show?
with a Vampire.
No, I'm thinking-
What We Do in the Shadows.
Yes, what we do
Yeah.
in the shadows.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
really
yeah.
what we do in the
Yes.
shadows. Yeah, I'm gonna say I'll. I don't really need anything from it other than
Yeah.
the cat.
Yeah, maybe
And
the
so then-
helmet. Maybe the helmet.
I
Okay.
would take
Yeah,
the
okay.
entire costume, to be honest.
Oh yeah, even
But-
reeking of vinegar, that would be fine.
Oh,
I'd put it in a
yeah.
shadow box.
Blood covered.
Antibacterial. It's fine.
That's
It's
very
fine.
true.
Just spray it down with some Lysol. All right. So,
That's right.
what would we want to do at the midnight movie? So, this is like if you go and see The Room and you throw spoons out of it.
Yeah,
I was
like a
saying,
Rocky Horror situation.
Yes,
Yes.
exactly.
Okay. We cannot throw vinegar. That's dangerous.
I was-
But we have to.
I was gonna say
We
throw
have to throw-
Throw
syringes
acid.
without the needles, at least.
Um,
or with the needles
yeah,
if
we
you want
all
to go crazy.
inject
We all-
drugs
you all
into
inject.
our
We do truth serum.
This is the part of the movie where everyone ties off.
fucked up.
Everybody stands up and screams their secrets.
yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah, that'd be fun. It's a real cathartic experience. You can just go into a theater and
God.
yell out all your inner secrets.
This is a toughie. This is a real toughie. I think this, I don't know that I want to go to the rowdy showing of this movie, if I'm being honest. It
I
sounds scary.
It sounds horrifying. I was either going to
Sounds
say, like,
dangerous.
when the dog gets crank, either like little baking soda bindles that you just throw at the screen, or dog treats that you just
Or
throw
you
at
just
the screen.
feed your dog some crank.
Crank.
You know?
Or you just,
Like-
we just
Just let them loose in the
You're
theater.
either here or you're not here.
lethal
Am I
amount
right?
of crank
Mhm.
and give it
Yeah,
to you.
just, the safe amount of crank to feed a dog.
I would
It's just a little.
I would have the crowd yell, "No, we didn't," when he says, "But you guys invited me," because he just finds the invitation. They did not
That's
invite
No, we
him.
didn't.
So that'd be a little crowd
I like that. That's a
participation.
good
No, we
one.
didn't.
Fun.
Yeah.
Cool. Ross, do you want to lead us into the ratings then?
Yeah. All right. Well, it's time to pull out our different instruments of dismemberment and mayhem as we rate this film. All right. So on this show, we like to use a rating scale of 0 to 5 fingers. Each finger adds to the score, and with more fingers equaling a higher score. And don't forget, you can chop off half a finger as well as no fingers. So this is a scale that Sam has kind of developed.
We
But,
now call it the Chuddle scale.
It's a Chuddle
Sam's
scale.
got a baby.
It's a
Shuttle
Chuddle scale.
scale. Very cute.
He's being
Yeah.
Daddy Sam.
Aw. Daisy, I was literally just doing that.
Oh, y'all are so cute.
Oh,
baby.
oh, Jay-Z. All right. Well, while he's on dad duty,
Yeah.
Yeah.
figuratively, maybe literally, I'm not quite sure.
Hey.
There's a whole lot of poop when it comes to kids.
I've heard.
It's insane. Like,
and I applaud you.
Oh, it's wild.
Yeah,
it was not on the
good for
brochure
you.
whatsoever.
I've heard they make a lot of it. And I'm not interested. Did I tell you I once had a great, again, I just want to preface, I am a professional dog doctor.
Yeah.
I had a Great Dane take a shit in my hands once.
That's horrifying.
Like a 120-pound lean Great Dane. And it took a shit. This shit that dog took was the size of like a human baby.
Oh my gosh.
hand.
It was a baby.
So, it was, I had to like literally like catch it and my hands like dropped as I caught it.
Oh my
The first like part.
God.
So yeah, all that to say, I'm no stranger to excrement.
Oh yeah. In your line of work, you probably deal with,
I had a cat poop in my pocket once.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah. At least I caught it.
I was going to say, that's a strategic
That's easy
poop.
cleanup. I just have to change everything I'm wearing. Great. Thank God you did that, cat.
Oh, God, that's amazing. Yeah, I have a half Great Dane, half American Bulldog. So he's got the Great Dane head, the big old feet, but he's like super short.
Oh,
and he's got all the moo cow spots.
That's cute.
His poops are horrendous. All right.
Oh, yeah. We're talking about dog
back,
shit.
Sam.
Takes
Welcome
after
back.
his dad.
Hey, we're just talking about poop. Hey, yo, Sam. What are you gonna? I kind of already am feeling it. What are you gonna rate this movie? I want to go through.
I'm thinking a
numbers.
fist. I'm thinking he's gonna give it
The whole thing.
absolutely
Fifth.
nothing.
All right.
Well, let's find out.
Yes.
So, was it engaging? 0.5 there, because I definitely just found myself drifting,
floating in the
away.
floating in the
Didn't hold my
cinematic
attention.
attention.
Away.
Sticky. I don't think it's going to be very sticky at all. I'll give it a 0 there.
Okay.
T-shirtable. I mean, definitely not. Just don't like it enough. The coolest imagery is the poster. But there's like nothing in the movie I thought was particularly cool. Cockles. Some of the moments worked for me, and I'm trying to be more generous, so I'll throw it a 0.5 there.
Okay.
And rewatchable, it's gonna be a 0. So that's a fifth. That's 1 out of 5.
That's brutal.
Wow.
I thought I didn't want to give it that low. I purposely didn't rate it till after we talked about it, hoping it might.
He just
raise
got
it.
angrier.
It just got more and more enraged.
It just is what it is.
Sure. I'll go next because unfortunately I'm going to echo a lot of what Sam just did. And I did rate this before our conversation and I was ready to change it based on this. But yeah, engaging, I'll give it a 0.5 because I was kind of, like I said, half engaged more or less. Things definitely brought me out of it. There was stuff I liked, but not a full 1. Sticky. Unfortunately, I don't think this is really going to stick with me too much. I mean, there's stuff that I liked, but now it is. I mean, should I give it a 0.5? Because we got to start thinking about it for the requel.
Yeah.
That's true.
So I don't know. There could be
Yeah.
waiver. But initially, I would give you that a 0. Same thing with T-shirtable because, like Sam says, that imagery of the poster would be cool. But I
That's
don't
about it,
necessarily
though.
know if I'm going to
Mhm.
want to wear that or represent that. The next one, cockles. That's
Cockles.
it. Did it warm the cockles of my heart? A 0.5 as well. It like there was moments that I certainly liked, and I think what upset me the most was that I liked a certain aspects and parts of it so much and wanted to see it go in a different direction than it took. So that's why I was upset about other things. And then rewatchable. Unfortunately, I don't need to come back to it, so it'll also get the 0. So it gets a 1 from me as well. I feel bad.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Oh.
You know what? Everyone's viewing experience is completely different and to their own. So
Why is Ross the cutest
I
in
love
the
you,
world?
Ross.
Oh my God.
That's why we keep them around.
That's so cute. I love you.
Ray of positivity.
That boy Chuddles.
Oh my God.
Kate, what did you? All right. So, what using our scale? What would you rank this?
Yeah. So I'm just gonna go like straight gut reaction, and
Okay.
I'm gonna say, I have my own little rubric,
Ooh, nice.
I have my own little
Perfect.
rubric,
Please.
and it was like
Yeah.
vibe, story, acting, and then bonus points, and everything is from bonus points today. So it got +1 bonus points for Halloween aesthetic because that immediately gets you bonus points. Just period. Like it's very easy to get that point. But not that many movies do it. So well done.
Yeah.
You get a point. Good job. But then Inconsistent Halloween got -3 points. It was a trick. It was a trick. It was a trick. They bailed on Halloween after like 16 minutes. And I'm like, where the fuck is the black and white garland? Yeah. Like, what is, I was so hype for Halloween that I was just devastated and there was nothing they could do to make it up to me. So
Took it away from
for
you.
that reason, it lost some points. I do like that it's very clearly a labor of love and it's like a group of friends who made this movie. And it's obviously like a novice movie and it had just a very modest budget. And I think that they made some fun with that. And that's something that I can appreciate. But yeah, I'm probably not going to watch it again. But will I think about it? You know, maybe next time I like order a pizza or like, you know,
You're
I
in the
probably
warehouse
will.
district
Yeah.
in New York.
Yeah.
Walking by a warehouse or something like that.
Next time I'm in any sort of public transportation, I will think of this movie. So for that reason, I'm going to give it 2 out of 5 fingers.
Okay. Good.
All right.
All right.
Awesome.
So
That's I thought I was gonna end up at 2,
So did I.
and it just didn't work out that way.
It gets some points. It gets some points for, you know, what they were trying to do.
totally. There's a whole lot of trying. in
Yeah.
this. All right. So I'm gonna go engaging. This one's gonna get a 0.5 for me with engaging.
You picked this movie, Rob.
I know. No, I'm thoroughly engaged every time I
to
see
talk
it.
about. We had fun talking.
But I
It's a
think
good-
the difference for me now is that it's fully engaging when I first started watching it. You know what I mean? Back in 2007. And then like having this like now I watch it and I'm like, okay, yeah, like I'm engaged in this,
Yeah.
but I've also seen this a handful
Sure.
of times where it's like
Yeah.
watching it to the point of like, okay, well,
Interesting.
you know, it's
And when was the last time you saw this? Probably a long time ago.
I would probably
guess.
say
Damn.
I'm seriously.
I think at a minimum, this is probably 6 years ago. I think
Yeah,
was probably
yeah.
the last time I saw this movie.
Okay.
All right, yeah. So 0.5%. Sticky. Honestly, Sticky's gonna give. It gets a 1 for Sticky for me because
that makes sense.
the funny bits in this I still laugh about. Like I might not
Yeah,
watch this. It might be a while between watching
But
it.
it's stuck
But
with
those
you.
fucking the Python level of physical comedy that's in this movie, I fucking love because it's very rare and there are very
Yeah, but they
few
have
gems.
some gems. Yeah, there are some gems in this movie that you're like, oh, that was funny. That
Yeah.
was good.
That was really
That was
good.
actually, I laughed. I
Yeah.
lulled. I made a noise.
T-shirtable. I would 100%.
Of course
do-
you would. Yeah.
Yes. Are you kidding me? Between a
I
cardboard
would too.
night, yeah, cardboard
I
night,
would too. I'm
melted
not gonna
werewolf.
lie. But
done.
I'm not gonna lie. I think that mine probably is for the wrong reasons. Mine is like to feel superior to people and be like, you
Oh,
haven't seen Murder
You
Party?
don't even know about Murder Party?
Okay.
oh my god. Well, fine. I thought
No,
you liked
it's
horror
fine.
movies.
It's just like
It's cool. I thought you were cool.
No, I mean that makes sense. I
I
see that
assume
for
that
you.
about you. So
Um,
honestly, like for the superiority complex alone, Ross, I gotta give you credit. Thank you for showing me this movie. This deep track.
dude, this
Yeah.
weird
Yeah.
It gets a point because now you have it to reference.
Yeah,
Yes.
honestly.
100%.
I feel like a pro
Whether it be
now.
good or bad. Yeah.
better
New-
other ways.
New.
It was an
tool in the
experience.
toolbox.
It really
yeah.
was.
Love it.
Cockles, I'm gonna go with like, man, I'm gonna go. I think Cockles and Rewatchable are gonna be the same at a 0.5 for me.
Interesting.
Where it's
Lower
like
than I
it-
would have thought.
Rewatchable,
He does
just
this
because like
sometimes.
every time I watch it, I enjoy watching it. I just don't watch it as very frequently. It's not like in like
Is
a
this like a background movie for you? Is this like you put it on and you like clean the kitchen?
it's there. It's like knocking
It's
at that
close.
door. It's really knocking at
Yeah.
that door.
I would imagine this is like I remember liking this movie, but I don't remember it. I'll watch it movie.
Yeah, that's actually a really
Is
good
it-
way of putting
is
it
it
because
like-
I'll
does that
reference
make
this
sense?
movie in conversation, which makes no sense,
Oh,
versus
I love that.
rewatching this at any given point. We're like, it's
Sure.
from Murder Party, and then I'll be like, yeah, all right, well, I'll watch that in like 3 more years.
That's so cute. In 3 more years. He's like, it'll come back around.
It'll
I
come
can't
back
resist it.
Yeah,
I
it's
never
fine.
could.
And then every time I watch it, I go, That's okay. It was made in 2007.
No,
Okay, that makes
but
a lot
it's
more
like
sense.
I feel like I know you better. Like obviously I didn't know you at all, but now I feel like I really know you, Ross. This is such a pick. This is such a choice, such a vibe.
It's a
I
very
feel like I
it's
know
a
you
very
a little bit
weird one.
better.
It was-
I feel like it says a lot about you in a very cool way, in a very unique way. So
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah,
It's that cool tool.
It's a weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a weird one. All right, so
it's
we got
weird.
you got
that
two,
gives you 3.5 out of 5.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Pretty good.
Mhm.
that's not bad. Not bad.
Not
Honestly,
bad.
it's pretty much
No,
where
I
I
know.
thought this movie was going to rest.
Cute.
All right, guys. So we have.
I'm glad you brought it to us.
I really am. Again,
yeah.
we're gonna the requel.
The requel's definitely
So-
gonna
Exactly. Do you
Great
know how
idea.
much money we're gonna
We're
make
gonna
off
be-
this?
Seriously.
So rich.
We're going to be 100 heirs. Like we
100
I can't wait.
at least dozens
Speak for
of
yourself.
dollars.
a dollar, at least dozens of dollars.
Dozens of
Thousands of dollars.
dollars. So yeah, y'all stay tuned for Murder Party 2. It's coming.
If it's going to work for what was it, the last shift, it could work for this one. So like
yeah,
we
that's
just
right,
get that
that's
money pool together, and it's like
We'll get it.
this
We got
Murder Party 1 never even happened because we've got our own.
Don't
Murder
even
Party
need to
that
see
we're
Yeah.
Murder
running
Party
into.
1. It's got
Yeah,
nothing
go to our
There is another
Kickstarter at
movie called Murder Party
www.
that came out like a year or two ago.
I saw that. It's a British
Oh no! Whatever.
It looks like, I don't know, it kind of looks like Knives Out.
Oh,
Okay, that makes
Yeah.
sense.
okay, fair enough.
That's their version of Murder Party. We're going in a different direction. All right, Ross, take us home.
All right. So as we finish up tonight's episode, we're going to close out with our final 2 questions.
Ooh.
First and foremost, does this, as in Murder Party, belong in our Chuddle Club crypt? To qualify, it needs an average score of 4 fingers.
Oh
so
no!
it
No.
definitely doesn't.
Oh, we're
It
sorry. We
did
love you in your
not.
own special way, Murder Party.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's just not,
Average score
Over
here
there,
was
over there, we love you.
1.8.
Right where you are.
yeah. This is definitely going to be returned with Scarewolf right after Halloween.
Not Scarewolf. But what about Zombie versus Unicorn's Horn?
Oh,
That
but
one
that
was
That's
one
a
too.
keeper.
Oh, this
That's a
yeah,
keeper.
that one I get the
I'll incur the penalty. It's
Yeah, I was
worth
gonna
it.
say,
Exactly.
I get
the
the
skin box.
overdraft fee on that one.
Yeah.
Maybe not for Murder Party. Okay, so now to finish us all off, we are going to do a Would You Rather. Here's a good one. Out of our rogue gallery of murderers,
Mhm.
who do you think you'd have the easiest chance against versus the hardest chance of
Ooh,
survival?
that's a tough one. Okay. I think that the girl who is constantly snorting cocaine, I think I could take her down pretty easily.
Okay, yeah.
I kind of pinned her as an easy target from the beginning. She's not
mhm.
really paying attention to what's going on.
100%.
I mean, I think
Who I would
yeah.
have the hardest time with, I think, I'm not sure.
I
I'm
would say
not sure.
Bill, maybe, just because he's the crazy one with the axe at the end.
Yeah, Will is like, he's...
Will,
Yeah.
Bill, whatever. I don't
Yeah,
remember.
no, but he's. I agree. I think
Bill,
Will's
Bill.
probably the most lethal killer out of all of them because he's
Yeah.
actually trying to murder.
Certainly.
You.
Zyko kills some people.
Yeah, he's got a
Oh,
gun,
that's true.
so that's the thing.
He's also
too.
got a gun.
Yeah.
And he gets, yeah. But who's the easiest? I don't know.
Alexander.
Alexander seems pretty
Alexander's
easy to take down.
useless.
Yeah. Honestly, I was even going to say Burnt Werewolf because at least from him, all you have to do is just unplug the extension cord and then he's
He's a-
useless.
Yeah,
He's
well,
a
yeah,
loose
he's
cannon.
a bit clumsy. Yeah,
Mhm.
he's
Yes.
a wild
He's a
card.
bit of a
Yeah.
ghost face.
I was
He
gonna say,
stumbled
he's
over.
definitely
no,
a ghost
don't you
face.
dare.
He just tumbles
dare you.
over himself.
Yeah,
I say it with love.
no,
How dare you,
Always
sir.
with
no.
love.
Always with love for Ghostface.
Yes. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's my answer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's perfect. All right,
Great answer.
that
Cool.
does it for another one of our Chuddle
That
Movie Club
does it.
meetings. That does it.
That does it.
We did it, you guys.
We did it. Kate, thank you so much for coming in.
Oh my God.
Yes.
So much fun. I love meeting other horror people, and you guys are just so fun. I like your energy, I like your vibe. So yeah, y'all are a good time. I'll keep you around.
Likewise. Remind people where to find you or
Oh yeah. So
Well,
it's
yeah.
Anything?
the Nightlight Horror Movie Club. We got an Instagram, we got a Facebook, we got a all the usual suspects. We've got them. So come find us. We do an episode every week. And I think we're doing Pearl soon. I think that's the next one. So
Cool.
Interesting.
I know. I
Still
literally rigged. Normally we go off of like the club officers who are our patrons, but I was like, y'all have failed me. And I'm gonna do it, whether you like it or not.
But everybody should definitely check out their show. It's hilarious. I really, really enjoy it.
That's so sweet.
I think I'm like halfway through the others right now, and I'm fucking loving it.
Do you like the others?
No, it's so fun. It's such a good. Your guys' take on it is so good.
She's just swinging a rifle the whole time.
The whole time, belligerently.
But her hair looks perfect.
I did love I did love the idea of the American born in Australia and the Australian born in America.
The Keith Urban, Nicole Kidman. We're two women. We're two veterinarians, and we like to know how long celebrity couples have been together. We just want to make sure that they're taking care of it. So that's like part of it. It's just interest of mine.
Dude, I have to give you credit.
Judgment if you're not, unless it's like a Leonardo DiCaprio situation. You know what I mean?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
If they're 18.
A bridge, an age gap too far. No. Honestly, it's the first time in a podcast that when you guys finished that, I literally had to pause the podcast and then look up where they were born and all these other things.
We were right, though, right?
Yes, 100%.
Okay, good.
Yes. Funny and factual.
Yeah, factual. We like to keep it on point.
Well, again, thank you again. And don't forget to check out all the places that you can find us in our Patreon, Discord, and anywhere you can listen to podcasts. And until next time.
We're going to cut this guy in half. We're going to dump his body in a vacant lot. We're going to use the press clippings as part of the papier-mâché elements of a massive multimedia metastructure with participational, No, you know what? Let me start over. Maybe something a little more progressive. We'll staple a pancake to his face and push him in front of the G train, and no one will ever know, so...